Welcome back to part 19, and as you can see we're still invading Sudan. Our economy's picked up a fair bit, but that's largely because our taxes are absolutely crazy. So we look, yeah, maximum, well, 90%, so we'll just take 9/10 of what these poor people have, and if they complain we just gun them down pretty much with our hordes of old Soviet units. No research because we can't afford it. Hopefully I'll at least restart it once we've conquered all of Africa and we've had time to stabilise. What we want is basically stability. That's the priority. There's still a bunch of Ugandan units here just stuck there. I still definitely don't trust the Ugandans because they helped fight the with the Kenyans. In sort of like an undeclared war, they invaded our territory. But as you can see, I've stopped producing everything, just to, like I say, boost the economy. We've got to make money while we can, so I'm going to get a nice buffer of. I'd love to have 100 billion, and then that would be like our economic development fund, if you like, and then we'll probably utilise the current price of oil, which is insane actually. So we can make $200 per profit per unit of oil, or per barrel of oil I suppose. So let's have a look at our resources. Yeah, loads of oil now we're taking these countries here. So Congo and Angola. And of course we've got the original Nigerian oil fields, which we can still further exploit. Oh, Liberian guerrillas. What else could we exploit? Consumer goods. We've increased that production slowly but surely over time. Military goods is pretty decent. Military goods you can make 40 grand per one. Yeah, there's just huge profits to be had everywhere because the whole world is at war with each other. I suppose they're all destroying their own production base, I imagine. So look at Germany there. It's always interesting to look. Oh, are they invading the Italians? They're invading Italy. So they're going to be basically like a super EU. And but they haven't done anything with Russia yet. Still unable to take them over. And here, even though the South Koreans are invading from the east, but this is just a mess. I don't even want to look at that. It makes me feel slightly sick. But yeah, it's going to be the main issue invading these guys is going to be supply. So, tell you what, I'll come back when we've pushed slightly further in. We've got a bit more supply, and hopefully a bit more money. Okay, we pushed a little bit further in, but we're taking huge casualties. I mean, I wonder how many people have died so far. Nearly 2 million of our people have died. Well, I say our people, I mean, not necessarily Sierra Leoneans, or I don't know what you call them, but just Africans in general, because most of the people fighting for us aren't originally from Sierra Leone, I imagine. It's just not logistically possible. But yeah, we're taking huge casualties. They must have quite a few pieces of artillery there, as you can see. Which I'm trying to hit with my Air Force, but they just don't seem to be able to reach. And the ironic thing is, this is where the airfield is that we need. We need to take to use our Air Force. Yeah, because they can stay briefly and then they have to go. And it looks like they made the mistake of bringing their units out of here. But I've off camera I decided to research this for just basic missile truck, because we're going to be using missiles in the later game to attack Germany, just to cripple their infrastructure and production, and perhaps nuclear weapons. So researching that. Restarted production, so we'll have a few of these BTRs come off the production line. And apart from that, we're not producing anything. But we are taking huge casualties, which is terrible. And most of the time it's largely due to our very, very low supply. So tell you what, I'm actually going to drag some of these units away from this front. And I'm going to tell them to go... here. And then once they get there, I'll send them to Death Valley. I'll send them to the hellhole that is this area, where millions of people are dying. Well, thousands, millions, tens of thousands anyway. I wouldn't say millions. The thing is, they've got lots of AA guns as well here, so we should be taking a decent amount of damage with our aircraft.
We need reinforcements. We took their capital.
But we are definitely hurting them. There you go, as you can see how these guys are rolling off the production line. The BTRs are in full force, which is always nice, because when they finish producing we can just send them against the rebels. Let's check up north. Yeah,
We took their capital.
constant rebel problems, but it's all in hand. Same sort of thing as down south. Once a batch of units is produced, we can just send them to gain experience fighting the rebels before we fight the actual enemy. Jesus, this is brutal. What units do they have here? Tell you what, I'm gonna lower unit initiative, because they just seem to be running into this. I think the main problem is we don't have much supply here. It is driving me mad.
We need reinforcements.
I'm looking at our economy. It's jumping up and down. It's very... What are we making our money from? Consumer goods and military goods mainly. A little bit from petrol. So again, I'll come back if we're able to push in. We'll come back and go from there. Okay, it hasn't been long since I last left you, and things have gone horribly wrong. The Tanzanians have just declared war, and they have pretty decent aircraft with Chinese missiles equipped to them. The Ugandans, even though they haven't technically declared war on us, are pushing in and trying to reclaim Kenyan territory, which were their former allies, I believe. Sudan, we have switched to a defensive posture instead of a offensive posture. For example, we've removed the battle zone control. I've also decided to increase my law spending to the max. So it's on 23% now, but I've put it up to the max because there's not much difference in it. And apparently I was looking at the battle goat forms, and that should reduce lawlessness and rebels. Interestingly, these guys have rebelled for maybe the first time ever. But we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on if we notice a reduction in rebellions. But we've got loads of units still pumping out, so hopefully we'll be able to hold this area. We may lose Ethiopia again. I would not be surprised, especially since much of our air force has been decimated, more than decimated actually. It's been almost obliterated. I think it's because the Sudanese have huge amounts of AA. But what can you do? We'll just continue fighting the good fight as we always do. Thankfully the Tanzanians don't seem to be hugely keen on the offensive. And I don't think I'll set a battle zone to take them. I don't want to provoke them. I just want to leave them alone and ignore them like I do with all the the other problems in my life, ignore them, and I hope they go away. We've got loads of BTRs just milling about, and I'm just going to let them do their thing and wait for them to build up a huge tide of BTRs, and eventually we'll run across and sweep over them.
We took their capital.
I'm tempted to delete these trenches. Oh, but yeah, I've also set the my minister to increase the amount of garrisons we have through the land, so though that may decrease our reserve personnel, we will have garrisons in more than a few cities now.
We need reinforcements. We took their capital.
Taking these guys out. Let's have a look at our law. It's going up quite quickly actually. It's on 20%, now it's on like 31.
We need reinforcements.
But constant rebellions, incredibly annoying. Okay. What I'm going to have to do is create a defensive barrier. Be good if we can hold this airfield. Yeah, just an airfield, not an airbase. Better than a slap in the face. Okay. Defend this area, create a buffer, which will at least slow them down. I'm not expecting much at all, but if they can't slow them down, then they'll just run over Ethiopia like the Kenyans did. Because it's just massive plains that they can run in, sweep in, take everything.
We need reinforcements.
We'll have to use the same sort of technique we used with the Ethiopians when they had their hordes of units, is try and utilise the aircraft once they come out in the open like this. Tell you what, let's do that now a little bit. I mean, after we built a few more garrisons. Protect Mogadishu, yeah. Yeah, I think our minister's doing his job. He should hopefully increase that naturally. So you go there. So I'm going to get all these towns should be garrisoned now. Even this one. Jeez, they've just spammed light infantry, which is not a very good unit actually. Let's have a look. We can produce that, and we have been. We used to. So they got 28, 10 soft attack and 8 hard attack, and our standard unit has got 15 soft attack, and yeah, so we're 50% more effective to a certain extent. Can we produce any good artillery? We can produce these. I think we bought these off the French. I would love to do that actually. Tell you what, I'm going to do that. Start producing loads of them. Spam the mouse button. There we go. Takes a little while. Luckily I bought a silent mouse, otherwise that would drive me absolutely mad. Okay, we produced too many. Clicked too many times. So that, and then transport. We'll just let the game run. Oh, no we won't, because it glitches out. Stop looking at that combat. My computer isn't powerful enough to try and build units and process combat for some reason at the same time. There we go, and then again after that you can produce more infantry. Just spam that. There you go. How many is that? Wait for it to update. Oh, I'm not pressing any buttons. Alright, there you go. Jesus, bring in the Air Force.
We need reinforcements.
We're leaving our artillery a bit exposed there. Ah, that was poor micromanaging by me. I didn't protect my artillery enough. Oh well, you live and learn. Okay, at least this front here is stable. I can't complain there. I'll try and keep my MiGs away from the... Ah, that was quite effective actually. We took out a few of their units. Trying to keep my MiGs away from their AA, which is mostly around their big cities here. If you attack there... Yeah, they're getting wise to the big MiG spam, I think. They're producing lots of AA. That would be really useful if you guys didn't sit in the bloody desert all day and do absolutely fuck all. If you pardon my non-PG language. So we're taking huge casualties here. Look at all those lost units. I wonder how many units we lost in total. Deaths. Yeah, we lost nearly 2,000 units, but we've killed nearly 5,200. I think I had a brain fart there. So I come back once something else has happened. Okay, we're back and we are really beaten down. The enemy is pushed way into our sort of core territory, which is very annoying. Rebellions continue to increase, but obviously our payment into law enforcement should help. I've also started a few improvements into our desert infrastructure. A lot of roads being built, supply depots all along the middle of this desert. But I'll call that part 19. Stay tuned for part 20. Please like, comment, subscribe and press the bell. Cheers.